Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday live stream. So it's kind of like those in-between days. Yesterday was a pretty fun time. We got to see people getting wrecked. There was liquidations of almost $1 billion over 24 hours. And of course, we just saw the massive dropout or pullback from the market. And today's kind of a little bit of a sideways action. Things are recovering. So let's take a little bit of a deep dive into certain aspects. And one of those was this clip shared by the Coin Bureau team. And this is President Trump. And we've got Howard Lutnick over there, and he's going to say something that I didn't think I'd ever hear, which is economic data is going to go onto the blockchain. And I'm going to talk to you about why I think it could potentially be Solana, and then what you think about that. So what we're going to do is just take a listen. This is about 30 seconds or so, just to verify what is being said here. Take a listen.
Two more things. The Department of Commerce is going to start issuing its statistics on the blockchain, because you are the crypto president, and we are going to put out GDP on the blockchain so people can use the blockchain for data distribution, and then we're going to make that available to the entire government so all of you can do it. We're just ironing out all the details so we can do it. Patents.
Yeah, well, before we get to that, first of all, any kind of data that's coming from the government, you have to understand that it's not like it's pure data and fantastic data. Data is data. And it's data in that's good, data in that's bad. It doesn't really matter. Just hopefully you get it right. But usually the government, depending on where they get their data from, is still going to suck. Let's be honest. So when he talks about this going on the blockchain, that's great for just some type of press conference and a little bit of marketing. But in the big grand scheme of things, I don't see this as being a big thing. That this might be famous last words. But the question that I had was, you know, which chain would this work out well on? Which chain would pick this up and just run with it? And some good information. Kita Network, which everybody's jazzed about, even though it has absolutely no prior data, except that it's super fast. Let's see how it actually works when it goes through battle tested. People say, Weave, fellow traveler says, F these rats. And then there's a couple other ones down here. But when I took a look at it, I was like, I wonder where this could come from. First of all, if you're not familiar with Mr. Lutnick here, this was from The Guardian, and he is the former chairman and CEO of the Wall Street investment bank, Cantor Fitzgerald, and this was 6 months ago. Donald Trump's nominee to become the next Secretary of Commerce. And then, of course, taking a look at Cantor Fitzgerald, not a very big company. I mean, relatively much bigger than any company I've ever had. $14.8 billion in assets under management. Recent SEC filing showed its AUM at $4.83 billion as of March 25th, 2025. Up here is as of 2024, $14.8 billion. Fund reached $450 million in July of 2025, so congratulations there. But why I bring this up and why I titled this potentially on Solana is because of this. We covered this yesterday. Galaxy Digital, Multicoin, and Jump Crypto plan a $1 billion worth, or buying up 9,000 Solana fund. And it's interesting where these three companies are doing. Bloomberg report citing sources said on Monday that three companies are looking to form the largest treasury dedicated to Solana. Now, before we go on, I'm not a Solana maxi. I'm not a Ethereum maxi. I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I just care what wins. And if Solana is one of those, then so much the better. And we take a look at this. Actually, I should probably pull this in here. Excuse me. We can say that maybe Solana is the big thing. The three companies have tapped Cantor Fitzgerald as lead banker. So what are they going to do? Well, they have to bring forth a public company, first of all, because Cantor Fitzgerald is not a public company. They are an investment bank, our investment treasury. So for Cantor Fitzgerald to do this, they have to find a company, bring it public, and then go from there. And if that happens, and Solana is the big play, maybe we could put that data on Solana. Now, I would like to hear your opinion of where this data is coming from. And again, I don't think this is a big, huge thing as far as data, but it is quite important in the long run. The other option then could be something like Truflation. Truflation already does this. It already has API integration with hundreds of different feeds and data that comes from the government and different sources. And it can give you like real-time data points up to a certain level. So I thought Solana could be one, Truflation could be one. And if you were thinking about it, you know, if Truflation was the one, and you wanted to pick up some of the token. Now I don't own any Truflation. I don't have any stake in this, but I'm just saying that Truflation, which made some headway by taking economic data already, they're listed 1,848. Total supply is 1 billion. Looks like the trading volume is under $1,590,000. This will be a very, very risky play. Although over the last 30 days, it's up 8.5%. In 24 hours, it's up 7%. So who knows? And that's TRUF. If you want to find out more, there's a link in the description for Truflation and check that out. So could be Solana, could be Truflation, could be Ethereum like everything else. Heck, it could even be Bitcoin. They said the blockchain and nobody knows. I just was curious to see what everybody else thought. Let's move on to the next piece, Bitcoin. So for Bitcoin right now, it's been kind of a volatile day. Look at these price swings. I mean, almost 112,000, then down to 109, going almost below 108. And over the last 24 hours, this has been pretty hectic. But you know what hasn't been hectic? Cronos, or Crypto.com. You can see here, it just went up 33% in under, what was this, 6:32 a.m. to 6:50. That's like in 20 minutes. It's pretty good. And why was that? It's because Crypto.com and Trump Media have partnered to make Cronos a utility token of the Truth social platform. I know right now some of you are really angry because you're like, I can't believe that this current administration, Howard Lutnick, and then what's going on with Cronos as they've partnered up with Trump and his family to do Trump Media. It's everything just falling apart. Of course it is. That's just how things go. Like there's this thing called a sphere of control. I can't control this, but I have to tell you, if you're looking to say, well, maybe this is something that I could look even deeper into, here you go. Or if you say, you know what, I just won't do it because it's just too dirty, fine. Anyhow, so congratulations, Crypto.com holders. And I thought it interesting also as a little bit as we like weave everything together. This was this is from, is this today? August 26th? What is today? Yeah. Trump family crypto empire expands the Crypto.com partnership. What I found what is interesting was down here is that World Liberty Financial, a crypto company launched by Trump and his sons last year, has received significant boost from an investment fund in the UAE, or United Arab Emirates, and Justin Sun. If you don't know who Justin Sun is, he is the world's greatest marketer, right next to Charles Hoskinson. And he also is the founder of Tron. And he just put this out. Will announce something big. This was 8 hours ago. So let's see if he's done anything else since then. Put his big head here on Forbes. Good for him. Let's see. And nothing. I guess unless this debridges the big announcement, which I doubt. But anyhow, these things are all falling together. And if you know the thesis that I've been talking about for quite some time, which of course was about the stablecoins, what are the top 4 stablecoin chains right now? Oh, that's right. It's Ethereum, Solana, Binance Smart Chain, and Tron. And it seems like the same names keep coming up over and over and over again. Anyhow, I'll let you do with that information what you want to. And lastly, before we get to a little Q&A, is I want to say congratulations to MicroStrategy. It's up 2%. I think it's up 2.38%. And why is that? Because they are the #1 performing large cap US stock since adopting the Bitcoin standard, which was in 2020. Look at this. Annualized returns of the top US public stocks since August 10th, 2020. 93%. And they beat, data, GameStop, really? Dillard's, sure. But look at this one, NVIDIA, which is going to be, I think, a very high earning stock for quite some time. Supermicro computer as well. Mostly NVIDIA. They outperformed all of them. So congratulations to MicroStrategy. Hopefully they can keep that game up. And lastly, I'm going to be talking to the guys over at Indigo, which is real world assets on Cardano. They got a pretty cool thing. Chakras, login system, lowers the Web2 to Web3 barrier, allowing users to configure AI agents, wallet free. When ready to launch, connecting your wallet to fund the launch with ADA. and auto swaps to Indy and da-da-da. The thing that I'm really concerned is with this AI agents, because they're going to be building my AI agents for my short-term rental businesses on VRBO and Airbnb. So I'll let you know how that goes. Anyhow, those guys will be on tomorrow. We'll talk to them, but that's it for today. Kind of a sideways chop day, not a big, huge, massive day, but that's what we have for this one. So if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. We talk about is time sensitive. Now let's do a little Q&A, answer all your questions, and we'll go from there. Ross says, hold on, this was funny. I saw this as I was talking about the Cardano one. This guy put this, or lady, I don't know, and says Cardano is trash. Everybody has their opinion of it. I always look at these different chains as like they do something great for one aspect of it. Maybe it's a little bit better on the other side. So like with Ethereum, as far as a layer one, it can't compete with the speed of, say, Solana, right? Solana is one of the fastest out there, right? And you can talk about Hedera, you can talk about Arweave, you can talk about all these different things. It's just Solana is very fast. And, depending on what you believe as far as like, which ones are actual transactions, not, sure. So if you're looking for speed and throughput, that is the one. If you're looking for dependability and you don't want to get fired, like I've said before, I think Ethereum is a pretty good choice for all these big traditional finance players. They look at it and go, what can I put this on which has never gone down and is kind of pretty much dependable, what I want to see. Maybe let's put this on Ethereum. Although Ethereum's got their problems too, as far as like EVM compatibility and stuff like that. And you also look at Cardano, and people say it's a ghost chain. Nobody's building on it. Some people are building on it. I'm banking on them to do this thing for me with Airbnb. So we'll see how it goes. I think if you're just looking for dependability, there's one side. If you're looking for speed and throughput, and then maybe a little bit of fast action, you get another side. Just depends on what you want to do. All right. Linda says, Rob, have you figured out the YubiKey yet? I have. Matter of fact, I have one of the two right here. YubiKeys. So apparently, just put that onto your computer, put anything with 2FA, and then you're locked down. Pretty good stuff. I'll use YubiKey. I'll use TANGEM Wallet. I'll use iTRUST for custodial services. I'll use Ledger the same way, and some other things, and I'll scatter things around as far as like a diversification of storages. Yeah. And yeah, that's it. I'm a big believer in security, and I think only the paranoid will survive. Whatever pumps the bags. Daniel gets it. Can I shill 2 coins here? Is that okay? Sure. Well, let's see what they are. Ran from CB was saying that the Sol ETFs are using their locked Solana tokens they bought during the FTX collapse, then selling securities to unlock the liquidity. Not sure if it's true or not. Well, we'll find out if the price runs up like crazy or just drops to the floor. But you would think like an ETF would be a positive thing. Although remember, for the Ethereum ETF, it was just a big laggard for quite some time until we start to get a little momentum. It was kind of a laughing stock, in my opinion, as far as like the ETF. Now look at it. It's most days or some days are outperforming the Bitcoin ETF. That's good. Yeah, names here says it right. I wish all the chains well just need some gains here. Yeah, I'm not a big, like, let's do it this way, let's do it that way. The market will decide which one's going to win, and that's it. Linda says, thanks, Rob. I love an instruction video. The one I used was the one that was on the website for YubiKey, YubiKey. And very simple. Put it on there. I got 2 just to be sure as a backup because you never want to have just one. That's what it is. Let's see. Volatility. Meme is correct. CB Key says, look at last cycle's CRO or Cronos token. The fractal shows is about to go much higher, probably same as some other coins are about to launch when they appear to be correct. I do not want to invest in any exchange token. BNB is my only exception because it just used so much. Like when I was dealing with people over in Southeast Asia for some different projects that we did, it was all BNB. And if you wanted to like send stables, it was only on BNB or Tron actually. So like I can just see those two, but BNB is an exchange. I just don't. Ever since Voyager and Celsius, I just look at these tokens and I'm like, why do we need these? And I'm sure Cronos has got some fantastic utility I don't know about, but I'm not going to invest into it. And that's it. And Ross says, F Trump and Cronos. Hi, everyone. It's Taco Tuesday. That's true. Yeah. What else do we have? And Iron Dog says, Babylon Protocol looks cool. Oh, wow. Joseph says, it took me almost 30 minutes to sell my Cronos this morning. It was multiples slower than normal. Joseph, I got to ask you, what exchange was it? Was it Crypto.com or was it another exchange? I would assume it's Crypto.com. Thoughts on Osmosis, more broadly Cosmos. Cosmos is a great chain. It's a good chain, I should say. I know people always connect it with Luna and the collapse of Luna. But as a reminder, you know, as far as Cosmos, as everything collapsed, that was Luna, that chain stayed up and didn't falter. So for me, I take a look at Cosmos and think it's a pretty good chain. But as far as like Osmosis, I remember buying that a long time ago. If they changed their utility, let me know. Trying to be the Bitcoin DEX. Well, now it says L1 launched in Cosmos. Look, Cosmos is a very fast and pretty user-friendly layer one. The problem is that, again, how many different projects are building on it? There's a good amount, but they just haven't come across my computer yet. We'll see. I think that's it. Before we devolve into talking about Trump, which never ends well here, let's just get out of here, because if you want a political channel, like, there's tons of those, just not here. Anyhow, everybody, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. Like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe. That's it for today. Thanks so much. See you guys in the next one. Adios.